Hello and thanks for joining us for the Midday News. East New Britain police have arrested a 27-year-old man for possessing 800 live ammunition believed to be from World War II. The cache was found at Pall Mall Airport following a tip-off from village leaders. The New Guinea Islands Regional Police Commander commended the joint effort in the successful seizure and emphasized the threat posed by shots ammunition in the area. He urged the community to report any similar incident and called for further investigations due to the ongoing danger. Arrests and charges for homebrew-related offences at Anuabada village begins today following a week-long awareness and handover of homebrew making appliances. Anuabada villagers over the weekend admitted they long needed police services after a 9-year absence. Community leaders expressed concerns about stolen vehicles and domestic violence incidents left unattended. A village court officer hopes for positive change with the revival of police services. Metropolitan Superintendent Silva Sika witnessed the handover of homebrew-making equipment to police on Saturday, 4th November at Elevala. #YourADF is actively supporting Pacific Partnership 2023, a vital humanitarian mission in the Indo-Pacific region. Specialized personnel are on a mission to 5 countries providing essential medical and disaster relief support. In its 18th year, Pacific Partnership strengthens alliance and disaster management in the region. OS Air Force Medical Officer Squadron Leader Jordan Breed played a crucial role in training public health workers at Boram Hospital in Wewak. This collaborative effort involves #YourADF and U.S. Navy, showcasing a commitment to regional humanitarian assistance. In regional news, the Israeli-Gaza conflict is continuing to have ripple effects on communities around the world. Across Europe, there have been surges in reported incidents of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. Some who have fled violence say they now live in fear of discrimination.
Family.
Do you speak with her in Hebrew or in English?
They fled Israel last month after conflict broke out.
My 2 little ones quite suffered from that. They did get trauma from all the rockets and the sirens.
For now, they're staying with family in the UK and know they're luckier than many others.
Coming here, thanks to his family, gave them the opportunity to go back to be a child again and go to school.
Our life is still there, our home, our stuff. You know, we only packed for 2 weeks.
London is home to one of the largest Jewish diaspora outside of Israel. But even here, the family have concerns for their well-being.
I'm afraid to go to central of London because I'm afraid that someone will do something to me or to my children.
Last month, London police reported a more than 1,000% increase in anti-Semitic offences compared to this time last year. Jewish schools have put extra security measures in place after threats and vandalism.
We haven't seen many physical cases of anti-Semitism. I don't think there have been a lot of physical attacks, but there's certainly been significant exchanges of abuse, daubing of walls with swastikas and the such like. I worry about the impact that has on the next generation of Jewish children.
Police here in London say there's also been a rise in Islamophobia offences in recent weeks, up 140% on this time last year. Those hate crimes were reported across the city. Communities in the UK have taken to the streets in recent weeks.
There's a general fear in both communities, and particularly, I would say, in the Jewish community now. So I think it's absolutely essential that the authorities in European countries take this very serious, and it's not only essential, it's their legal obligation to do so.
Tension and division being felt around the world.
Pacific Islands Forum Chair and Cook Islands Prime Minister Mark Brown has launched a broadside against the United States and China urging them not to bring adversarial competition to the Pacific, stating the Pacific is a region of collaboration, not for competition. Brown made the powerful statement in Rarotonga as the island nation prepares to host the annual Pacific Forum leaders meeting this week. Issues on the agenda include the Fukushima water discharge, the endorsement of the implementation of the 2050 strategy, climate change, gender declaration, and the final decision on the appointment of the next Forum Secretary General. He said geopolitics is becoming a divisive force in the Pacific due to superpower rivalry between US and China trying to exert their influence in the region. He told regional media to give prominence on issues affecting the Pacific raised by forum leaders instead of focusing on celebrity politicians from Western countries. For the first time in 7 years, an Australian Prime Minister is in China. Anthony Albanese's landmark visit comes after years of tension between the two countries, including a range of punishing Chinese tariffs on Australian goods. Touching down in Shanghai, the Prime Minister declared his optimism about having the final trade barriers removed.
The Prime Minister basking in the warmth of the spotlight in China after years in the deep freeze.
Thank you everyone for the very warm welcome.
Among hundreds of Australian business people seeking to seize on the momentum of improving relations. At an enormous trade expo in Shanghai, Mr Albanese is talking up business with our biggest trading partner.
This is a market of 1.4 billion people. This is an economy that is growing faster than the global average, and this is an economy that is complementary in many ways to the Australian economy.
However, in recent years it's been anything but, with China imposing a series of bans and tariffs on Australian products. Most have now been lifted, but some remain on lobsters and red meat.
This is what we want. Yep.
I raised those issues directly with my counterpart. I would expect that in a very short space of time.
That means for Australian businesses that they can move into those markets again, but we note that they've also diversified over the course of the last few years.
Premier Li Qiang spoke of China's opening up and appetite for global cooperation. But in his speech after, Mr Albanese warned of the need to eliminate barriers to trade and investment.
Australia and China have prospered thanks to the certainty and stability that is made possible by rules-based trade.
Anthony Albanese drove home politely the benefits of free trade for China, Australia and the entire region. He also highlighted the importance of regional stability in a not-so-subtle reference to China's ambitions in the South China Sea and hopes to seize Taiwan. But the biggest moment arrives tomorrow when the Prime Minister meets Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing.
In sports, the PNG Kumuls delighted the home crowd following a poor performance last week to claim the inaugural Pacific Bowl with a 32-12 win against Fiji in Port Moresby.
Opening quarter of the match was a scrappy affair with both sides making errors. The Kumuls were able to capitalize on a strong breeze at their backs to post a huge 26-0 lead at half-time break. Kumuls' first try came through live wire hooker Edwin Ipape, who put in the type of performance fans were hoping to see from him all tournament after he was kept quiet last weekend. The Bati had their chance to turn the tide in the second half, with Waka Blake crossing for the first try after the break at the 42nd minute and another in the 68th minute. With plenty of chances going begging, including Micah Sivo losing the ball over the line in what proved to be a key moment in the match. The Kumuls' defense held strong, especially on their own goal line, to help them claim the trophy. PNG Kumuls' tries were from Ipape, Robert Debbie had a double, Alex Johnston and Apple Capinius. Rhys Martin was superb, taking 5 out of 5 conversion rate with a penalty goal to end Kumuls' flying power. The Pacific Championship will be staged again in 2024 after the NRL and NRLWL Premiership seasons. Susan Oreape, TV1 Sports.
That's all for now. Do join us this evening at 6 for the main news. Bye now.